Welcome to Alternatives to AA. This is Joshua Robinson, and I've been 3 years sober.
And I'm Monique Robinson, and I'm 2 years sober. And we're here on a mission to help make the difficult journey of sobriety even easier to manage. Nobody in my world ever thought that I'd actually manage to be sober. So now we're taking what we've learned in the last decade to be able to help you too.
And we're not against AA. We just need to learn how to manage the other 23 hours of the day. From communication to relationships to self-care, we're going to show you how to cope when your triggers try to take you down.
Join us every Monday at 6 p.m. to uncover not only how to live without alcohol, but to thrive in sobriety and to swap out your addiction for a better life with the help of Alternatives to AA. So let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to Alternatives to AA. I'm with my friend Brian, and he's 1 month and a half sober. And we're just going to talk about some of the short-term benefits of not drinking and also his philosophy on life. So yeah, we'll just go from there. So not drinking for a while, what was the main benefits that you saw?
The main benefit is increased energy, just natural, because I would find myself like not falling asleep in the middle of the day, but like knowing that I didn't get enough rest. And, you know, like 2-3 o'clock rolls around and you're starting to doze off a little bit. You know, you reach for the coffee and you kind of use that as like an energy booster, but it doesn't really give you energy. It's just a
False energy.
Yeah, that I definitely noticed was the biggest thing. And then the energy that you get from having more restful sleep, you know, that translates to other things too, because if you're tired, but you have things to do, like whatever, you got to go to the store, you got to take your kid to baseball, you got to go to the gym. Yeah. Like sometimes you just go home and just sit there and relax, or just start drinking again. Go home and you know what, I'm too exhausted today, I'm just gonna go home and have a beer and sit there and relax, and then you feel better, but you're not really better.
Yeah, but it's interesting about the energy thing, because alcohol for a lot of people gives them temporary
stimulant. Yeah, for sure.
But everyone always just calls it a depressant, but no, it's
I definitely noticed that, because after about a week my sleep was like awesome. You know, it was like clockwork. Like 11 o'clock at night, I was like, okay, time to go to sleep now.
Yeah.
Whereas before I could stay up a lot later. Yeah. Because I was stimulated by.
Yeah, you can stay up till 2 o'clock or whatever.
And if you start to get tired, like let's say it's like a weekend night, you're having a good time, you're having fun, you don't want to go to sleep, you're watching a movie, you're doing whatever. Or you're hanging out with friends, just have another one. It'll re-stimulate that feeling that you have.
Yeah.
And the feel-good feelings come back.
Yeah.
And you can stay up longer. That's how people black out.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Well, that's what happens when you black out, right?
Yeah.
Your mind goes to sleep, but your body is still awake.
Yeah, that's always scary. Like I've had that happen a couple of times, and every time it's really scary. It's like you literally wake up in a nightmare. What did I do wrong?
You look at your phone. You're like, who did I text yesterday? You know, it's like, you know, and it's not really anything embarrassing, but you don't know what you did.
Yeah.
So you have to check on it.
You feel dumb.
That's the anxiety. That's part of the anxiety that you get. You get anxiety after a night like that.
Yeah. Because
we've all drunk texted people and made phone calls and you know, done dumb shit. I mean, I've accidentally hurt myself a couple times.
Yeah.
Which is when you're like, okay, like this is not good.
Because it's weird with alcohol. You know what you're doing still, unless you black out. But
even when you're blacked out, you still know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You just aren't really cognizant of what you're doing. Like if you were watching yourself do what you were doing, you'd be like, stop. But in your mind, you're like, fuck it, I don't care.
Oh, well, that's the main thing is alcohol just really is the I don't care drug.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's just when you get to that, like I mentioned a couple of times on the podcast, like when you get to the stage of fuck it, that's when alcohol is so appealing, because you're already in that mind state of who cares. So if you have drinks, it just amplifies that who cares. So then you fight with people, you hurt
Drive
yourself.
Home.
Yeah. You just do all this stuff that you know is
I'm not going to get pulled over.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I never have, but you wake up the next day and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
You know, because your sober brain is like, why would you do that? But your intoxicated brain is like, I literally don't care what happens right now.
Yeah. Is this all impulse kind of? It's not logical kind of stuff.
No, it's not. It's, I don't know what it is. I wish I knew what it was.
I would almost say it's like that, like this primitive part of
your
you.
reptilian brain.
Yeah, I would say that.
By saying
you know, you want to like take the girl at the bar and just throw her over your shoulder and be a caveman, you know?
or you'll, you know, one of the reasons that I relied on alcohol a lot is one of the reasons a lot of people do, especially when they go out, is it's a social lubricant, as I say. You know, I'm a pretty shy guy, generally speaking.
You say that, but then, you know, you have a lot of friends.
I'm like an introvert.
Yeah.
I have a lot of really good, close friends. And I'm myself with them, you know. But when it comes to like talking to new people or
it's like bullshitting,
you know, seeing a girl that I want to talk to or something like that, I wouldn't, you know,
without the alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody at a bar is drinking, so you know it doesn't matter at that point. But like let's say you're in the supermarket. It's not exactly the place that you're going to go approach somebody. You know what I mean? But if I was drunken at the supermarket,
then you can.
I might.
I've done that.
You know what I mean? Because it's like that fear that you have.
Yeah, it's like, who cares?
You don't care.
Oh, if I get rejected, who cares?
Shit.
Dude, when I first started to try to do, like, when I was in my 20s, the, you know, whatever, that like kind of those techniques to try to pick up women, like PUA or whatever.
Yeah, pick up artists.
Yeah. Like,
Game.
I was trying to do that, but I could not do it without drinking. But once, like you said, I would have like literally like 1 or 2 shots and then go do that. And I got successful with it, but before that, I was like, no way in hell, because your mind just overthinks everything, you know. Yeah,
and you know
I'm not advocating drinking, by the way. if you're in your 20s and trying to pick up chicks,
you know, let's not focus on that.
Yeah,
but it's a good point though. Like, I think. I don't know. I was always against like meeting a girlfriend or something at a bar or whatever. But it has happened.
Yeah.
You know, and like a long-term thing that we just both ended up being there. Both don't go out that often, but ended up meeting each other and like had like a 2-year, you know, decent relationship. But if you are using it, if you're going out and drinking solely with the point of like picking up girls, like you just said, like the pickup techniques and stuff like that, I mean, that gets stressful. It's like, what am I going to say? Now you're even worried about that. You're like, what kind of, because the thing that I learned with the pickup artist stuff is like, it's not you.
Yeah,
you're saying something that somebody told you to say.
It's a persona, yeah, for sure.
And it's not your persona. So you can fake it for a little while.
But then eventually they're going to find out, oh, wait, this isn't who, so this guy's a liar. Yeah.
Right. It's that's why I don't really subscribe to that way of like meeting people.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Just be a decent person.
Yeah, it's not for any of the younger guys, just treat the girl as a normal person. There's no secret to it. Yeah.
If you let's say you're at the gym, for an example, you know, because there are people that only interact with each other at the gym. Yeah. We don't hang out with each other really. Like I've met a couple friends at the gym, but I see the same people all the time, but I don't talk to them.
Yeah.
But if you were going to go up to a girl at the gym, she may have been sitting there for 2 months waiting for opportunity to talk to you or was attracted to you but didn't want to feel awkward or weird or whatever. But it's really hard to like step over that threshold because you don't want to embarrass yourself.
Yeah.
You know. But if you were drunk at the gym,
not the smartest idea.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kind of going off. But my point is like, you'd be surprised who is attracted to you if you are attracted to them. You just have to.
Yeah, you just have to
cross that bridge, basically. But at the gym, I've always been against that.
Yeah,
because you don't shit where you eat.
Yeah, true.
It's like, what if you do that? And now she's going to go tell all her little gym friends that you went up and talked to her. And now the guys that she knows at the gym are going to find out too.
Yeah.
And now they're going to look at you like you're a fucking creep.
Yeah.
So I don't talk to anybody. I talk to the guys that lift and work out the way that I do.
Yeah.
And they're all really nice people.
Yeah.
So, and half the time I'm like, I should invite this guy over to hang out, you know? Let's have spend time outside of the gym.
Yeah.
Where we just bullshit about like work and crap like that, you know, because it's hard to meet friends as an adult. So
that is true. Yeah. The gym is a good place.
And to take it away from like the dating, trying to like date somebody, it's like, sometimes it's weird to go up to a guy and like, hey, he could be a good friend of mine. We have the same interests. You know, I see him wear Metallica and metal band shirts. I like metal. Like,
yeah,
it's so hard to meet friends too. So that could even be awkward. But
that is true.
I mean, not really for me as far as that goes. But, yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's hard to talk to people these days.
Agreed. Especially with we're getting way off topic, but especially with like politics and all this stuff. So, and you know, everyone's been distanced for a while, so everyone's kind of like a little bit standoffish. So it's even harder than it was before the pandemic.
Yeah, and it's hard to find trustworthy people.
Yeah,
because you could meet a friend, and then like you like tell them some shit about yourself, and then it comes back to you from another person, and you're like, what the hell, man?
Yeah,
like,
you're supposed to keep that.
When I have conversations with people, conversations I have with them don't leak into anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, I don't gossip about still, you know, so-and-so told me. But some people do that.
Yeah.
Because maybe they don't like you, but they convinced you to tell them some shit about your personal life, and then they know somebody else that you know, and then it just, I mean, we live in a small town, so.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I see people everywhere that I know, but I've never spoke to.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway.
But, yeah. And then, I mean, some other points that we were thinking about was like skin complexion that,
yeah, whenever you know, cause when you drink, you get dehydrated. It's really awful for your body. I mean, your body just, it's a diuretic. It makes you have to go to the bathroom too.
Yeah.
So all your water is out of your body, and it's also out of your organs, your brain, your skin. So my skin would be like really dry.
Yeah.
But I noticed now, because I drink a ton of water, but I noticed now that I'm not really like drinking as much water. Like I'm hydrated.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to like down like a gallon of water as soon as I get up, you know. And your face gets dry, your skin gets dry.
Yeah.
And then after a while, well, it probably takes about 3 or 4 days to rehydrate totally.
Properly. So if someone's been drinking for a while, like after 3 to 4 days, that's when
unless they're drinking Miller Lite all day long. In which case you're hydrating yourself too.
I guess.
Kidding. But yeah, it'll dry your body out.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a really funny bodybuilding story about Ronnie Coleman. He was with
Kevin LeBron.
Yeah, one of his trainers.
Yeah.
And it was the day before the meet.
Had like a shot, right?
He had 4 shots of like whiskey because he was so nervous.
Yeah.
And he couldn't dry his body out anymore. And he was like, was it Kevin LeBron?
He used to do that, yeah. But
and he said we were taking shots. He said he had about 4 shots, and he woke up the next morning like 6 pounds less or 5 pounds less. I don't know the exact amount.
Yeah.
And he went out and won Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, and he wasn't a drinker either, and that was like the only time he did that.
One of my friends asked me one time, he's like, dude, I have to lose like 4 pounds for my meet tomorrow. What should I do? I said, take a couple shots of whiskey.
Yeah.
Pee it right out. Because it's true. Your kidneys literally just remove the water from your body.
Yeah, and well, talking about that, a lot of bodybuilders use diuretics for that purpose. Like those are really dangerous
too.
You can actually kill yourself. Your heart can actually stop going. That's why some people, when they drink too much, their heart literally stops. So that's just another reason why it's not good to drink, because you can literally Crookshanks. You can literally just kill yourself.
Well, one of the reasons bodybuilders and powerlifters also one of the reasons that they have such a problem with diuretics is that they're not losing 3 to 4 pounds. They're losing like 25 pounds in like a week span or less sometimes.
Of water, you're saying?
Of water, yeah. Like I listened to a podcast, Mark Krokoletsky.
Okay.
And he said that he would drive in the middle of the summer to his meet. Pretty sure it was him. With like a sweatsuit on. Back then it was just like garbage bags.
Yeah.
A sweatsuit, like a Nike sweatsuit with garbage bags, and he would crank the heat in his car.
Yeah.
And it was like a 3-hour drive, and he would sweat out like 25 pounds.
Yeah, especially when you're that big too. And also,
if you weigh 300 pounds, you need to weigh 275. It's all a percentage game.
Yeah.
Really, you know?
Yeah. Once you start to lose more than 10% of your body weight in water, then you're at the risk of just dying at any moment. Yeah. So if you weigh 200 pounds,
I don't know that, but that sounds,
yeah. If you're 200 pounds and you lose 10%, so 20 pounds, you're at the verge of actually your body just ceasing to work, that happened to me one time when I was working with my dad. I weighed 220, hot day. I sweat out 20 pounds. So by the time I got home,
and you were drinking water.
Yeah, I was drinking water.
You're losing it faster than you could get it in.
Yeah, you can't. And you want to also like have stuff, like water with some salt, electrolytes, all that stuff. More so than even
well, that's the problem with sweating
Gator
and taking in regular water.
Yeah.
Is you're just drinking water. You're not sweating out just water.
Yeah.
It's minerals, it's salt, it's
yeah, you have to replace all that stuff too.
You got to replace that stuff too.
Yeah.
Which is why salt is actually good for you. Not in high doses, but people are afraid of salt. It's like, no, you need salt.
Yeah, if you don't have any salt, then your body, everything actually won't work. It will just, like, your brain needs it too. Everything needs it to do electrical impulses.
Yeah.
So
and salt soaks up the liquid that you put into your body.
Yeah.
So when you're hiking or whatever, you're doing something on a hot day, it's actually smarter for you to eat something salty like sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
Because you're ingesting salt and the salt is soaking up the water. So the water that you drink, you'll hold on to it more. Your body won't purge it. The saying is, where salt goes, water follows. So if you eat sunflower seeds and you're drinking water too, you'll actually feel better. Even though you think salt is going to like dehydrate you, it actually doesn't. It will dehydrate you as long as you don't drink more water.
Yes.
But if you drink more water too, it's going to make you hold on to that.
Yeah, exactly.
More, Yeah. Just a little fun fact there. But, going back to like drinking and stuff. It's like being dehydrated like that. Unless you stick an IV in your arm, it takes like 2 days for your body to reach homeostasis from ingesting water.
Yeah.
Because it's got to go through all your organs and it's got to go through your body so your body can create a hydrated body.
Yeah.
And you can actually, something that I read was you can drink too much water and you're still not hydrated, but your body just has too much water in it. So it just purges it.
Yeah.
It's not actually absorbing it. It's just kind of
this
going through your system.
out. Yeah. I've had that happen before.
That's something I heard. I'm not a doctor. So.
He's not a doctor.
But that's what I've heard about, like when people, they drink like a ton of water after like a long night drinking or whatever, and they're totally dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
You have to drink like Gatorade or like Pedialyte or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's got all those nutrients and shit in it.
Yeah. Or like some people just have, salty foods.
Or that. Well, yeah, they say like a high fat food.
Yeah.
Will help you get over a hangover, but I don't really agree with that. Hangovers suck.
Yeah, I agree.
No matter what. You're not just going to magically fucking fix a hangover. And now it's like, depending on how much you drink, it's like 2 days.
Yeah.
And like, one of the things I noticed through this process was I would go lay down to go to sleep, and like I couldn't like stop moving my legs. I couldn't like get comfortable because I was used to going to sleep while I'm like sedated.
Gotcha.
So my body's just like,
so it's like, what is this?
Fully at rest. You could fall asleep on the floor. You mean fall asleep anywhere when you're drunk enough?
Yeah, but the sleep's not quality sleep.
No, it's not.
Like,
but what I mean is you're not comfortable.
Yeah, I got you.
You can fall asleep on the couch with like your hand over your head and your legs all over the place. You're just passed out.
Yeah.
But like when you go to lay down to go to sleep and get like a real rest, like your body needs to get comfortable. Then all of a sudden you're laying there and it's like, God, why do I keep moving my legs around? Like do I have restless leg syndrome? Because my legs are like moving around. But that went away pretty quickly. But
how long?
It was a weird thing that I noticed because I felt like restless, even though I was like sitting on the couch yawning, like I need to go to sleep. You go lay down and it's like you can't go to sleep.
How long did that take? Like a week or?
Yeah, about a week or so.
Yeah.
And then I was like going to lay down and then like just waking up in the morning, like 8 hours of rest. I'm like, damn, this is awesome. The only thing is like the nights are a little boring because that's when I'm used to doing it. I wasn't like an all day drinker. I would be what would be considered a binge drinker probably. I go to work.
Yeah.
I eat well, drink a lot of water, go to the gym.
Yeah.
8 o'clock comes around.
Yeah.
Get home between 8 and like 10. That's when I would do it.
Yeah. But hard.
Right. And then go.
So
like 4 glasses of whiskey.
Yeah. So
that's like eight shots, based like a double. Right.
Yeah.
So like 3 or 4 of those over the course of like 2.5 hours or so.
Yeah. And then you just fall asleep.
And then you're like, okay, time to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then, or, whatever. Like, so it was a very short period of time.
Yeah.
The rest of the other 22 hours of the day.
Yeah. I
was being a responsible adult.
Yeah. So that's what they would call, like, I don't know if you consider yourself an alcoholic or not, but, like some people would consider that a functioning alcoholic. Like, as someone that, you're still doing everything that you have to do. So you're still being responsible, but when you're being irresponsible with the drinking, you're being very irresponsible. So you're like, you're condensing it instead of spreading it out over like a whole day or half a day. She's like, okay, I'm going to go really hard for a couple hours and then I'm going to recover and then go hard again. Or like, especially on the weekends, like I'm sure like on the weekends,
weekend, it doesn't start at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Then
it started like, okay, I went to the gym.
Yep.
At 11. I got home at 1.
Yeah. Now I'm good.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And then by the time the night's over, you're like fucking 15 drinks deep.
Yeah.
Because you started at 1 o'clock and now it's 10.
Yeah. So you can even.
So if you're having 1 an hour, between 1 and 10, that's 9 drinks.
Yeah.
But if you're having 2 an hour,
I
18
think
fucking drinks.
I would say I was similar to you. And I think actually, I'm not sure about this, but I think
But it's a steady burn the whole day.
Yeah.
Now you're not blacked out for 7 hours. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
That's okay.
You know what I mean?
I think like probably, especially, I think the majority of people are actually like the functional alcoholics.
That's probably
so like
95% of people.
And most people that are like that, they don't think they have a problem until they actually have a problem with the law or something. Like that was me. Like I had to get, multiple DUIs before I ever thought I actually had a problem. And so this is the whole thing. Like a lot more people have a problem than they think, but until they like actually get really sick or they get in a car crash, or
accountability
like
comes for you.
Yeah. Then you're like, well, cause it's just
you have to be accountable
right
now
in the face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because before then it's like, no, I'm just having fun. This is fun.
Yeah. It's all, you're invincible.
Yeah, exactly. Until you're not.
I mean, dude, there's people who, they'll get in like a bar fight.
Yeah.
Go out and get drunk and get in a bar fight. And it's not 1975 anymore. So they'll just dust each other off and go home. Like you go to jail.
Yep.
And now you just made a $10,000 mistake.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even remember punching that guy in the face because I was so blacked out.
Yeah. What else have I done stupid that, that I didn't even know about? No one told me.
And you also think like, ooh, I got away with that. Like you do something bad when you're drinking. The next day you're like, I got away with it. It's a weird mental.
You feel good.
It's like you got one over on yourself almost.
Yeah.
Like I was acting like a total fool yesterday, but here I am. I'm good.
But eventually it catches up to, like Jordan Peterson says, that he's never, ever seen anyone in his clinical practice that ever got away with anything.
Yeah.
It always catches up to you.
It always comes for you.
Yeah. So you might get away with it for a long time, but eventually you're fucked. And when it comes, it's going to be a lot worse. That's how I tend to think about it.
One of the, excuse me, one of the things that Jordan Peterson said, you just mentioned that. So there's a high percentage, I don't know exactly what the percentage is, of people who commit murder are drunk.
Yeah.
And a very high percentage of the people who get murdered are drunk.
Yeah.
And I remember watching a true crime story a few years ago about this couple that would, they would get drunk in their house.
Yeah.
And, they would be having a great time. And this is how a lot of fights start, as we know.
Yeah.
You're having a great time, and then you're not having a great time. You go from one extreme to the other. You're having a great time together. You're drinking. You're dancing in the kitchen. You're singing. So, you're putting music on. And all of a sudden something happens.
Yeah.
And it switches to like the worst fucking fight in the world.
Yeah. What is that?
And that happened to this couple. And his wife shot him in the head.
Wow.
She threatened him with the gun. Like, if you don't shut up, and it went off.
Wow.
There's a lot of stories like that. That's just one that I've heard of, but there are a lot of stories like that where the good time turns into a huge fight. Like I'm going to fucking kill you kind of fight. Not literally, obviously, but I'm saying for the point of that story, like literally she killed him.
Yeah.
Because like we were talking about earlier, you don't care about anything.
No.
Who gives a shit? I'll point a gun at your head. It's like, oh my God, it gives me like goosebumps even thinking about, like, could you imagine getting that angry at somebody?
Yeah. Fuck. Crazy. No thanks.
Yeah, no, I'm not a gun person anyway. So I don't have one.
I'm surprised.
I don't plan on owning one. I grew up in the city, dude.
Yeah, you don't want any of that.
Heard enough gunshots.
Everyone
guns were never for anything good. When you grow up in this shitty town like that.
Around here, it's just self-defense /
gangsters and drug dealers have guns where I come from. It's not like a guy that's going to the range to let off some steam. That was never even.
Yeah, that's how it is around here, or hunting, or
Well, I would like to learn how to hunt, but I would like to learn with a bow.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a little bit more skill involved.
There is.
There's like, and I like training for stuff. So
yeah,
like
talking about training, we're gonna talk about. We're gonna do this podcast before we went. Well, you went to the meet. I was there to record. there was a goal that Brian always had to squat 500 pounds. And the last time he was at a meet, he squatted 460 or something like that. 463. And like a lot of stuff was going on in his life, but by not drinking, he was able to do it, right? So
yeah, that was it's been 6 weeks. So the training period was 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And I had cut back considerably for that.
And I noticed your strength was going up at least your recovery was going up like crazy during that time.
So I had cut back, considerably before that.
Yeah.
And then when I stopped completely,
it's crazy.
It was the last 6 weeks of the training, and I hit a 20-pound PR.
Yeah.
In training. So I squatted 485 in training, and I surprised myself with that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But I'm telling you with 100% like honesty and accuracy, I never would have been able to do that had I not had the rest and recovery that I was gaining from not drinking and going to sleep.
Yeah, because you're already very, very strong. So like a gain like that, and you've been working out for what, like how many years?
I was 22 or 3, so like 12 years.
Yeah, so 12 years, like gains of 40 pounds on your squat within like 6 months or whatever.
The last meet was December 7th or 6th.
Yeah, that's pretty big jump.
And then I kind of screwed off for like 2 months working out, because when you come back from a training like that and you go back in the gym, you're like, okay, what am I going to do? I don't have anything to, I don't have like,
there's no mission.
Yeah, there's no mission. So you just go in there and move your arms around. But once the training started again, I was supposed to do May 7th, but the meet got sold out, which I was so upset about. And I had started training for like 4 weeks up till then, because you have to sign up for it like 10 weeks out.
Yeah.
But it got sold out. So I quickly found another one in Philly and signed up for that. And then it kind of had to restart the training.
Yeah.
So then I had my mission again. And, it's not a confusing program. It's all percentage based on the max efforts that you've done in the past.
Yeah, just keep it simple.
So I had all of my max efforts in there, and then it just populates the program based on the week. So the 4th week out is your overload week, and then you kind of come down the mountain, as I say.
Yeah.
For the last 3 weeks, and that was when I did the 485.
Oh, okay.
And I was talking to one of my friends, and he was like, dude, you got 500 easy. And I was like, I don't know, because it's like 499 and a half pounds is not 500.
Yeah, it's in your
501 pounds is 500. It's 2 pounds different.
Yep.
It's literally less than 1%. But like, it's all mental.
Yeah, so much of it's mental for sure. Like before you did it, you had to tell yourself, "Oh, I'm actually going to do it." Right? Yeah. Like if you were like, "Oh, I don't know," then it will never happen.
Well,
like, remember?
It's kind of a good, not a metaphor, but like a lesson for life, for things. It's like, you see something that you want to do, but you don't think you can do it. And you tell yourself, you self-sabotage. Yeah. You say, I can't do that. Yeah. I'll never be somebody that's able to do that. Mm-hmm. And you go out there and you train your ass off. And then when the day comes to do it, and you do it, you're like, fuck, I did it. Holy shit.
What else can I do?
500 pounds is
that's heavy.
To a normal gym rat is impressive. But when you go to the meet, there's people squatting 600 pounds. Yeah. So it's like, okay, what do I have to do to get to that now?
Yeah. The next step.
So it's like one of those personal goals, and I was watching a talk that Eddie Cohen did because he squatted like 900 pounds at one point.
And he was a lighter guy. He was only like 200.
And he's only like 5'4", 5'5".
Yeah, that's true. A little
Probably
short.
like 5'2" now.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And that's what he said in his podcast he did with, I think, Mark Bell. Because, you know, as you get older, you're...
Especially squatting that much, it kind of shrinks your spine a little bit, maybe, over time.
Yeah, well, before Louis Simmons died, he said, I've lost like 4 inches in height over the years just from all the weight that I put on my back.
Yeah.
But
gravity.
What I was going to say was, he said, somebody asked him a question from the audience, and they said, what does 900 pounds feel like when you, like, what did it feel like when you did that? And he asked him, I think he asked him, well, how much have you squatted or something like that? And he said, the most I've ever done is 500 pounds. So you have this kid who did 500 pounds and Eddie Cohen who's done 900. And what he said was 900 pounds to me felt like 500 pounds to you.
Yep.
It's all mental.
Yep.
It's just weight. And that's a really good lesson too, because it's like this guy, greatest powerlifter ever. He's right. Like 500 pounds is really fucking heavy, but not to somebody who's done 800 pounds.
Yeah.
But it's really heavy to somebody who can only do 200.
Yep. You just don't have that capacity yet, or you might not ever, obviously.
Well, you might not ever, but that's the mental aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's like pushing through a boundary that you've never pushed through before it feels the same no matter what the weight is.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
You can use that for life too. You know, like if you've never made $100,000 a year and that's been a goal your whole life, and you finally make $100,000.
Yep.
That might be like a business owner making his first $1 million. It's the same feeling.
Yep. And then also, once you make that, because that's your new like normal, if you make less than that, that is very depressing. Like, so if you're making like $10 million a year and then one year you make 5 million, you're like, I suck. But someone else, you know, most people would be like, that's amazing.
I'd like to make 5 million. Yeah.
But then if you're making 5 million.
Yeah.
And you just kept making 5 million for 10 years, you would be depressed.
Oh yeah.
You'd be like,
you'd be looking at your Ferrari in the garage going,
I need a new,
really want a Bugatti.
Why can't I have a Bugatti like Fred over there?
Your perception is off.
Yeah.
But like I was telling a story a couple weeks ago. Cause I drove like an old car I was 27 driving a 22-year-old car, 23-year-old car. It's broken all the time. I knew how to fix it, but I didn't want to drive a 22-year-old car anymore.
Yeah.
So I got my first ever brand new car when I was 27. I felt like the fucking king of the road because it was my first new car.
Yeah.
Some kids' parents buy them a new car when they're in high school and a nicer one than I have.
Yeah.
But for me, that was an accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not. I was used to like having anxiety driving down the road and my car's going to break down. Now I have a car that's brand new and
it's not going to mess up.
No, but it's only a $25,000 car.
Yeah. It's interesting.
But that guy who's got a Ferrari in his garage, he's like, man, I really want a better Ferrari.
Yep. This one's old, whatever.
This is a 4-year-old Ferrari. I want a new one. So it's like, again, it's like perspective, right?
Yeah.
Some guy who's been driving an old beat up piece of shit for the last 5 years, finally gets himself a new car. He's going to feel the same way as a guy who always wanted a Porsche.
Yeah.
When he finally gets to buy his Porsche.
Yeah. And I think all that stuff is not bad. It's good because as humans, we always want to, or at least we should strive for better. You know, maybe sometimes it's bad with material stuff, but in general, there's always more capacity for you to open up. And especially like once I've gotten sober, I've noticed that like my horizon, like everything my possibilities of what I can do is like tenfold. And I'm sure some people that have been sober, even for just a little bit, have seen that before, but it really just opens up like your ability, because you're not having to, manage the hangovers. You're getting the right sleep. You have more energy, so you can just accomplish.
Well, you're deriving happiness from a substance.
Yeah.
You're not getting it from what you do in life.
Yeah, so you're not really trying to do the best in life.
I don't need to go and make more money. I'm just going to go home and drown myself in a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
That'll make me feel good.
It's easy.
Stupid.
It's stupid and easy, but it's easy, and it's satisfying to some.
Why do you think people are addicted
aspect.
to heroin? They literally look like they just crawled out of a dumpster.
Yeah.
But they can't help themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's their escape, and their whatever satisfaction they're getting from the heroin, and I've never done it, so I don't know what it feels like. But it's obviously more important than getting yourself straight and going and get a job. Because that's hard.
Yeah, that's what I forget where I heard this, but they were talking about like somewhere I heard this, pretty much talking about how you have to make your life a more fun adventure than the drinking is to you. And for some people that can be very hard.
Very hard.
Especially, if you're starting out with like, you're having trouble paying your bills, all these kind of things. It's like, well, where am I going to find enjoyment? And it could be even simple stuff as like just helping people out just here and there. You don't have to start big is the whole thing I'm trying to say. It's like, it could just be small little increments. And then over time it grows into this awesome adventure. Like what you were talking about, with me over the weekend, that you're always like, well, you've been like everywhere.
A lot of places,
not everywhere, but like I'm so jealous of that, because you've climbed all these mountains and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I would say to the point of not getting your happiness and your numbness from drinking. That's one of the things that I noticed after was like my evenings aren't fun anymore.
But
I'm literally sitting there on the couch. It's 9:30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to bed at like 11. What am I going to do for the next hour and a half? And you put your hands up in the air and you're like, well, I could have like a couple shots and have a couple beers and watch a movie. That would kill an hour and a half, but you don't do that. So you have to figure out something else to do. And pretty much what I started doing was, I just watch a movie or something.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do stuff at night.
Yeah.
And when I don't have my son with me, because he occupies my time till about 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
But then you just find yourself aimlessly scrolling on your phone.
Yeah.
Getting some kind of stimulation. But I've been thinking about what other things I can do to get that satisfaction from. And yeah, like you mentioned before, like going traveling and hiking and all that stuff and going new places. That's a lot of fun, but that's not every day.
No.
It's a concentrated period of time in 1 year. 1 week out of 52.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks out of 52.
I guess it actually comes down not so much to happiness, but more meaning, like the meaning in your life. So even if you're not doing something like extravagant every night that makes you over the moon excited.
Reading.
Yeah. But like, or just like you're doing things in your life that are positive, at least it's for me. And even if like maybe my nights aren't as fun, at least there's meaning behind what I'm doing. Like I'm trying to just do the right things and have fun with family and friends and all these types of things. But I know what you're saying. It can be hard.
Yeah.
Like when there's nothing.
You almost want it to just be bedtime so you can go to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, because here's the thing too. I feel accomplished at the end of the day.
Well, that's all you need then.
Like I go to work.
Yeah.
sometimes it's not the most fun, but I work and I do my job, good at my job. You know, I get satisfaction from that. Go to the gym for 2 hours. That's my self-care for the day.
Yeah.
Get home at like 8. Sometimes I don't want to make myself food, but I will. And I look at the dishes and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that today. And then it's 8:30 and you're like, okay, well, I went to work. I went to the gym. I busted my ass there. I made money. I did something physical. I'm good.
Yeah.
I got my satisfaction for the day.
Yeah.
So then what else? Then you just want to relax.
Yeah. You don't really have like recently
I feel useless relaxing.
You feel useless. Oh no, that's the hard thing. And I've recently, literally in the past week, finally been able to actually not feel guilty of me relaxing and like just being high off life. Like you said, like, okay, I went to work, I worked out, whatever else I need, like for me, schoolwork, like I did all these things. Okay, you did enough for the day. Yeah. You can allow yourself to feel good, and you don't need an external thing like alcohol or whatever to make it so it's okay to feel good. Because this is a problem too. Like a lot of people, for whatever reasons, they don't think that they should feel good, I guess.
Just existing.
Yeah, like just existing. And because like you were talking about when like you would be in nature, you would become like one with nature and all these things. And when I finally like allow myself, even just in this environment, to just be like, okay, I'm good. Like I can just be here in the moment. And then you feel like, I literally sometimes I talk to Monique and I'm like I feel like high or drunk right now, and I don't have any substances in me.
You mean right now?
Yeah. and it's so weird because I never actually thought that was possible, and I've been
possible.
Yeah, I've been like 3 years sober, and I just started to feel like that. I didn't even know that was actually a thing. I know when I was a kid I felt like that, but it's been so long that I'm like, how the fuck do you just feel good just existing? Right. It's a weird thing, but you don't have to do anything.
Well, I live a life of high stimulus, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm not stimulated by something, including alcohol, I feel like not worthless, but yeah, maybe that's the right word.
I get what you're saying.
It's like an athlete trains his ass off hard to be the best. You work your ass off at work to make as much money as you can for yourself. And you go home and you drink hard too, because you're living in this excessive like mental headspace. You know, I'm not a millionaire, but I don't mean excess as in buying Ferraris and, you know, going out to doing expensive stuff. I just mean like I have to have some kind of stimulus going on, like it's almost like having a vice, you know, like you're moving from one vice to the next, basically, but a positive one. Like a vice is considered something that's like abusive to your body, like smoking or tobacco or doing some kind of drug. You know, a vice is something that it like distracts you from, it kind of withdraws you from reality a little bit, right? And drinking is definitely probably the biggest one for people.
Yeah. When he talked about that, like for,
can I just say really quick?
Yeah, sure.
The alcohol turns my brain off.
Gotcha.
From having to feel that excess.
Yeah.
So then I'm good. Then I'm chilling because I'm not thinking about it. So sorry. Yeah. I was going to forget that.
That's okay. Like, for me, it's the main problem is a self-worth problem. Like with society and stuff, like you're talking about the money and the working out and all these things, like these are all good things. But growing up, at least I was kind of told that you got to be like the best at everything. And that's not even realistic.
No.
And so you're constantly, as a man, constantly beating yourself up, saying, oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, I'm not strong enough. Oh, I'm whatever, not fun enough. So then you drink, so you think you're funny, even though you're not a lot of times. So all these kind of things, they stem from a place of not having self-worth and not thinking that you can be happy with just who you are. Like, I know, like, some people get too much about that. Like, oh, just be happy. You're like really, really overweight. Oh, just be happy. But there is something to be said about that, of at some point you have to be okay with who you are. And if you're not okay with who you are, then you're just going to constantly seek out these things to numb you and stimulate you from the reality that you're trying to escape.
Yeah, I've always felt, even from when I was a kid, like I was different from everybody else, you know, like the way that I think about stuff. Like, there's guys out there that can drive a forklift for 20 years. I'm not one of those guys.
You want to be like the best at whatever you do.
I would like to be I would like to be really good.
Yeah.
And I mean that from a point of like humility, because like there are some things like in my career that I'm the best at. There's a million people that do my job. But in what I do, yeah, I'm one of the best. But that doesn't give me as much satisfaction as picking up 500 pounds.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. Because if physically speaking, that's more accomplishing to me than knowing how to, be a project manager.
Yeah.
I'm good at it. But maybe it's something that has to do with stimulating your central nervous system. The gym has always been my go-to.
Yes.
My feel good, And a lot of people don't think that. They have other things that make them feel good, like whether it's trying to figure out how to make more money or I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's always been my thing, that I know it's always going to reset me. I'm always going to feel better after I go there.
Yeah. Nah, I'm the same way. Like, if you have a crappy day,
but I'm
whatever.
not the best gym guy. I'm not the strongest person in the world.
Yeah.
But I have my goals.
Yeah. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just like really in my head right now about this whole, like, about this whole self-worth thing. And it's like, it's an issue. It's such a huge issue. And I mean, it's the same with women too. Like, it's not just a man issue of this whole never being good enough.
What would you say would be the contributing factor? Not like you specifically, but like for a man. You don't have to I won't give you a specific thing on my own, but it's like, I feel like I'm good enough.
You feel like you're good enough.
But there are other people that don't think that I am. So that makes me think that I'm not. So I think I'm good enough.
Gotcha.
But I think that other people think that I'm not. So then that fucks with my own head.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Because I've failed a lot of shit.
You're questioning yourself.
Failed relationships, failed, like I hated going to college and school. Like I felt like a loser because I didn't want to be there. Yeah. I wasn't like those people. I did it.
Because you wanted to fit in. To a certain extent.
I pretty much, I mean, where was I going to go? I wasn't going to go to the military.
Yeah.
So, but like, I've always felt good enough doing what I want to do, but you kind of weave through society because you're expected to do shit.
No, this is like, I think honestly we're getting somewhere, because this is so true. That hits hard, because when you're doing what you want to do and it's good, it's healthy, that's when you feel the best. But then you have all these other people kind of probing, no, you gotta do this, no, you gotta go to school, no, and that takes away from your authenticity, I guess, and who you truly are. Like, that's the whole thing that I'm dealing with now. Like, the ability to like pursue like, construction jobs and stuff for good money, but that's not who I truly feel that I am and want to be. Like, I want to help other people with their issues. So I'm going to school and doing all these things that I don't want to do once again, but you have to have the degree to, of
course there is some work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Here's another, as far as that goes, like, and if you compare it to powerlifting, I think a lot of guys will agree with this. The meat is the easiest part.
Yeah.
It's only 9 lifts.
Yeah. So work behind.
The shit that you have to do for the 12 weeks leading up to it is the pain in the balls. And most people can't do it.
And most people don't know how much work fucking went into it. And this is
so fucking hard.
This is the same thing like you see on.
But when you get my point is the job is the meat.
Yes.
The 4 years of college blows.
Yeah.
You're not going to use 90% of that shit.
Yeah.
I know I don't.
It's just a pain in the ass just because.
So you have it so that you can be qualified to go and learn, and then you're just going to learn on the job stuff anyway.
Yeah. No, that's very true. and like, this is another thing why people don't feel good enough is because they see these posts like on like social media and they see somebody, living this amazing life, but they don't see all the hardships behind it. They just see the end result of like 10, 20, 30 years of busting their ass. Like, not spending a dime, it's like just living a very tough life so that in the end they could have this life they wanted, but it's not easy.
And
it's not easy.
Care that they had to sleep on the floor of their warehouse that they just rented for $5,000 a month, but they have no home.
Yeah.
So they put a little bedroom off to the side and they sleep in their warehouse for a year and a half until they actually make it. But they don't give a shit what anybody thinks about them.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I care what people think about me.
Yeah.
Even though I want to do what I want to do and like not be judged for it. It goes back to what I said before. It's like, I'm worried that people are going to, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost, where you want to do what you want to do, but you're judging yourself because you think that people are judging you, but really they don't give a shit. They really don't. But it's a mental thing.
Is true.
You think that people care about what you're doing because of the things they say to you. They don't.
They're too much in their own minds thinking about, oh my God, what is he thinking of me?
Well, have you ever told somebody about a plan that you have? Like, hey, I'm going to start a business.
Yeah.
Well, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And you're like, why would I do that? I'm not going to be able to do this.
It's very rare you find somebody that's supportive, but I've been supportive with your ideas.
Yeah, no, I know, which is really hard to find. And like, there are people out there like that, but there are some people that I've told about it. They just want to rain on your parade.
Yeah. Because,
why do they want to do that?
Because
I look at them and I'm like, dude, you have a nice house, you have a nice car, you have a beautiful family. And I just told you about something that I want to do and you just shit all over me.
Because they don't want people to be better than them.
But why does that make me better than them?
It doesn't, but
I don't want to be better than anybody.
That's true. It's just like a weird. Yeah, it's not better. You're right. It's just like, I don't know why people, because if people like that guy might be miserable or something. Maybe. And not, I don't know either, honestly. These are weird questions.
It's like, it's like competing to have the hottest chick,
Yeah.
My girlfriend's hotter than yours, bro. It's like, yeah, but your girlfriend's a bitch.
Oh yeah.
I don't care. You know what I mean? I wouldn't deal with that shit. And it's like,
typically that's the case,
but it's like catching the biggest fish. Mm-hmm. It's like having the biggest boat, having the nicest car.
Yeah.
It's all not real.
No, it's interesting because all that kind of stuff.
Car's just metal and shit that moves around and nuts and bolts.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares if you spent $70,000 on your car?
Mm.
I mean, it's a nice car. I would definitely drive it, but I can't afford it. And I like my car.
Yeah.
But why do you think you're more important than me? Because you have a Mercedes and I have a Volkswagen.
Yeah. It's like the values are messed up with all that kind of stuff because that's not really important. Like,
and a lot of the people that you meet in the real world who have a lot of money, they don't drive Mercedes.
No.
They drive like a Toyota pickup that's like 10 years old.
Because they're taking their money and putting it into stocks.
Well, because every penny they spend on their company matters to them.
Mm. Yeah, they don't want to be draining it onto these things that they don't really need, unless like they're in their like 60s or 70s. Then they're like, okay, I gotta enjoy this. But yeah, especially early on, it's like, yeah, no,
keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, no, this is like, this is a lot of stuff. I'm like really thinking hard about some stuff now. It's true though. It's like this need for validation from other people, which, like you said, no one even gives a shit for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Just do you. Just do what makes you happy, and hopefully, it can sustain you financially so you can have what you need.
Yeah.
But that's like truly the most important part. Once you have over your needs, if you're like working a job that you just hate, but you're making lots of money, it's just like sucks the soul out of you. So like it's good short term maybe, but long term, how good is it?
You're gonna come home and yell at your wife.
Yeah, you're gonna
come home and treat your kids like shit because you have to get up at 6 a.m. every day and drive to New York City.
Yeah, and you're a slave. You're a slave. Yeah.
And that company doesn't give a shit about you anyway, because if they closed their doors, you'd just have no job.
Yeah.
You can't. You always have to remember that at any given day you walk into work, they could tell you to leave and never come back.
Yeah, this is the problem with with a lot of people. They think like, job security. They don't give a shit, dude. They will literally.
Look at what happened in COVID.
Yeah.
All those companies that shut down.
Well, this is becoming more of a reality. People are seeing it more, but like, yeah, it's such bullshit. Like, and you should really be trying to do something that you actually enjoy, but it's hard to do to make it, financially.
Sometimes the most fun jobs aren't the most high paying,
which sucks.
Which sucks.
Yeah, some of the ones that fill your soul, they like don't fill your pocket, right?
Yeah, so maybe there's like a happy medium there you can try to find. Like my job is, I'm good at what I do. I get satisfaction out of it. It's not the most satisfying every second of the day that I'm there, but there's a reason I'm there.
Yeah.
When we get a big job, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Not only because I know that I'm still going to be getting paid. Like the last company that I worked for, we had no work. I was just waiting for that door to open to say, hey, Brian, you're out of here.
Yeah.
I was going to work nervous every day.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no money coming in the front door. How are they paying us every week? But I get a good job at work. I'm like, man, we're helping make the company money.
Yeah. Hey, I feel good.
That's my job security, honestly.
Yeah.
Is like knowing the company is doing well means that I'm going to do well.
Yeah. True.
So plus I work with awesome people. So that's huge. It took me to 35 years old to work with people I actually like.
Yeah. Your boss sounds like a really fun guy. You were hanging out with him at the beach or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun. And it's nice. It's nice to not have a boss who thinks he's better than everybody.
Oh my God. It's annoying when that happens.
Like, I mean, and one of the things about not being happy at work is when you're making good money, but your boss is treating you like a peasant. Dude, I'm a man just like you are. Yeah, you make more money than me. Yes, you own the company. Correct. But that's not a license to treat me like shit.
Yeah. And honestly, the bosses that treat their employees the best and respect them and respect their thoughts are the ones that end up, they're getting all this great insight from their employees, and then they're just the best companies because
the employees want to help.
Yeah, they want to help. They're like, let me please, if the boss is treating you like crap all the time, you're like going to do the bare minimum. You get a boss that cares about you, you're going to bend over backwards and try to do whatever you can to help out that business succeed.
Yeah. Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
When you do a good job are extremely important for me.
Yeah.
Good job, Brian. That's all I need.
Yep.
Thank you. My boss calls me. I got off the phone with him. He says, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate you. I'm like, I'm going to jump on this shit right now.
Yep.
Whereas before, be like, Brian, I need you to do this. Okay, when do you need it? Friday. It's Tuesday. I'll do it on Friday. Seriously, that's what goes through your mind. You're like, well,
yeah,
he was a dick to me last week. I'll do it when I have the time.
Yeah. No, it's
whereas you get like motivation from people who kind of share the same mentality.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, I would love to do that for you. I'm going to do it right now and get it to you before the end of the day.
Yeah, you get around those types of people that give you energy instead of take it, and it just keeps building on itself, and you're excited to go into work, and you're excited to help out as much as possible, and everyone just keeps supporting each other throughout the whole
There's
process.
guys that wake up in the morning and they go, oh, I don't want to do this. And I feel for those guys because I know what that feels like.
Yeah. No, same.
It's like, okay, I'm going to be there from 7 to 3:30. And every 6 minutes, I'm looking at the clock.
And those types of jobs make you want to freaking drink. That's for sure.
I can't wait to get home and take a fucking shot.
Because there's no like meaning. There's no like.
No, you're not satisfied.
Yeah, there's no satisfaction. So of course, the first thing like you want to do when you get home is like, oh, let me just forget about this day. You know?
Yeah, I've had those days where I'm just like, I got out of work at 5.
Stop
5:30.
Yeah, stop at the liquor store.
No better time than now.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I'm not working out today because I don't want to fucking go because I had a shit day at work.
Yeah.
And I feel like shit. So I'll just do this and it'll make me feel better.
Yeah.
I've had way too many days like that.
Yeah.
I realized that it was a problem. I realized that I was doing it to cover the pain that I was actually going through. You know, whether it be emotional or, you know, just life situation. When I was like 26 or 7-ish, I felt fucking worthless, man. I had a college degree. I had a job that was paying me like nothing. I felt like they didn't care. There was nowhere for me to go in the company. I didn't really want to get another job. I kind of just wanted to make more money at the company I was with because I did like the company. But when you look at all the people around you and you're like, okay, I'm not going to take that guy's job. They're not just going to give me a raise. I'm going to be doing the same thing. A raise to me is a promotion. So you're a junior project manager, you become a project manager. You're a project manager, you become a senior project manager. You're a senior project manager, you become a VP. These are the ladder. This is the steps you got to go up. I felt worthless because I knew I wasn't going anywhere.
Thanks for listening to Alternatives to AA. If you would like to contact us directly, please shoot us an email at alternatives2aa2021@gmail.com. We also hope that you continue to join us on Mondays at 6 p.m. You can watch us live on YouTube. You can subscribe to us that way as well. You can leave us a 5-star rating and follow us on Spotify. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, we ask that you please leave a rating and an honest review.
We'll see you next week. Bye.